name's Monica from the Yogi Movement, and we're going to talk about how to do headstand for beginners. So the first thing I wanted to just mention was that a lot of people just want to get up into headstand. They just want to kick up into it, and headstand is really, to find the balance in headstand, you have to really work on strength and control, and then the balance comes. So the main thing is that you don't want to press the head into the ground to hurt the neck, so we're going to work on ways to find strength and control so that we can resist that when we go into headstand. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to come to this kind of child's pose position, and we'll go ahead and grab the elbows with the hands, and then you're going to go ahead and clasp your hands in front. So that's the position apart that the elbows should be. So I'm going to turn to the side here. I'll do it again just to show you, grabbing the elbows and then coming into position. Alright, so then I'm going to go ahead and put my head between my hands. So the hands kind of work as a wall for the head almost to keep it stable. And then I'm going to go ahead and untuck my toes so that my toes are touching the mat, and I'm going to come and straighten my legs. And then I'm going to go ahead and walk my feet all the way in as much as I can. And here is where the hips kind of come forward, and this is where people get really scared because they feel like they're just going to fall backwards or forward. And really you have much more room than you think you have, so don't be scared to bring your hips forward, just like I'm doing. Alright, so your feet are walked in, your hips are forward, and you're pulling your lower belly in just for some control. We're going to bend one knee up, so you're going to bring a knee into the chest, and you're going to bring the foot up, and we're going to work from here. So you're going to squeeze the knee in really tight, you're pushing your shoulders through your shoulders for strength, and your forearms into the ground, and then we're just going to experiment lifting the other foot up. Just like a little bit off the ground, just see if you can do that. And then you can come down, alright? And then you're going to do it and try to balance a little more, a little longer. And once you start to do that, you can start to squeeze this other one in. Alright, so then you're all the way, you're in headstand already. You're just closer to the ground. You don't have to worry about falling over. You have control. And you're pushing your forearms into the ground so that your head is coming off the ground, or at least just not pressing hard into the ground. All the weight is in your forearms and your shoulders. And then we're going to go ahead and just lift the legs slowly. You know, you can do this in steps. So maybe you just stay here for a couple days, and then the more you do it, the more you feel in control, and then you can just start to come all the way up. And then you're just deep breathing, and you're pulling in your lower belly, and you're just working on control and strength. And then you can come down the same way you came, just working on control the other way. And then we'll go ahead and lower the feet down, and then we'll go ahead and just lower the knees down, and you can come into child's pose. Stretch out the arms. So it's always really important to do child's pose right after headstand. And the reason for this is you're going to straighten out the arms, and you're just kind of like releasing any pressure from the shoulders that you had from all the strength that you were just putting into them. And then you're releasing any pressure from the neck by doing this. And then you're just letting the blood recirculate. So it's good to hold it for about 10 or 15 breaths. And so that's the way to do headstand for beginners. But eventually, you want to be able, once you get that control, you can start to work on it with both legs straight. And I'll show you how that looks really quick. So we're going to do the same thing. We just walk the feet in, and then eventually, you just start to lift 2 feet off the ground. Your hips are forward as you just start to straighten the legs, and you come up, and you can hold it here, just for a couple breaths. Okay, and then we'll lower down. And if you are having trouble coming up into headstand, or you feel like your head is pushing too much into the ground, or you need to work on strength, one thing to do is, instead of just working on jumping up into headstand, you want to work on building the strength first. So you'll do the same thing. And we're going to come into headstand prep, which is also called dolphin. And we're just going to hold it without even bending the knees in or coming up. So you come here, and then you press, and you walk the feet in, and you're just going to try to hold this for about 20 breaths. And you're going to push the same thing. You're going to just try to kind of lift your head off the ground and push into the ground so that you build the strength and control in your shoulders. And from holding yourself up, you're building strength. And then, you can experiment here, but when you can hold this for 20 breaths with your head barely pushing into the ground, then maybe you're ready to kind of start to lift up, okay? So If you have any questions, you can go ahead and email me. Go to my blog, theyogimovement.com. And the main thing to remember is to not worry so much about just kicking up in a headstand, but building the strength and control. And I wish you the best of luck and peace and blessings. Namaste.